If you hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out.
Lil Durk was denied a bond today in California federal court, murder for hire charge where he's facing life in prison. Trial is scheduled to start in January. It went a lot better than that sounds. His attorney, Drew Finling, did a tremendous job diffusing several of the arguments that were making Durk look crazy. The government has these rap lyrics that they cite in the indictment, and they say, look, he's bragging about how Quando Rondo was on the news yelling, no, no. Drew Finling came in, and the government got a little shook up when he hit him with this. He hit him with a declaration from the music producer that said that that song was recorded months before that news story of Quando Rondo saying no, no ever happened. And so there's timestamps in this declaration from this producer showing the night those lyrics were recorded, way before Quando was ever saying no, no. The government was reeling when that broke in court. Is he a flight risk? And the government relied on the fact that on the day his co-conspirators were arrested and charged and news broke of that, he booked all these flights to Zurich and another flight to Dubai and a third flight. The defense explained what was going on there, and they bought a trip on economy because the only flight available was economy, and then he didn't want to fly economy, so they rebooked it through private. And the reason why it looked like there was multiple flights, the private jet had multiple legs, and so they just saw one leg and they thought, oh, he's going here to Dubai and he's also going here to Switzerland. No, he was going through Switzerland to Dubai. Ultimately what this came down to, however, that the government said, hey, look, we got text messages, this guy saying, hey, I don't want nothing to do with those flights. We believe he's the ringleader. It's murder for hire. He's facing life. And that, my friends, is going to be enough to get you a no bond case in federal court. If the feds decide that we're charging you with murder for hire and we're going to put the life target on you, and we say we've got text messages of you implicating you in a conversation about the murder for hire plot, that's going to be enough to get a no bond. So that was the bond hearing. I think trial will be obviously very different. I think it's pretty easy in a case like this for the government to go and get you a no bond. However, they're going to have to prove somebody did these murders, and they're going to have to prove that Durk paid for these murders. That's going to take mountains of evidence, something we saw none of today. Truly, there was no evidence presented today other than this one text message where Durk is saying, I want nothing to do with that. And so the context around this case, where the government first has to prove that someone committed a murder, and then they have to prove that that someone was paid for by Durk, that is going to be very different from a bond hearing. Update on Lil Durk. He had his bond hearing today. He looked good. He looked like he was in good spirits. No crazy weight gain or anything like that. He looked good. The judge was on the same vibes she was on last time, which is that, wait, they're saying murder for hire. They're saying you put bounties up. They're saying you ordered the shooters. They're saying the shooters shot. I'm saying that's going to be no bond. There's basically no argument you can make to this judge in a murder for hire case to get a bond. The one silver lining for the defense is that the prosecution's case has taken two major hits. One, the prosecution has had to abandon their allegation that he rapped and celebrated about this murder, that he put these lyrics out talking about, oh yeah, I got you, you out here screaming no, no, crying in the street. The prosecution had to back away from that allegation. It was proven false. They need that allegation, and now they're not going to be able to have it. The other allegation they backed away from, which is huge, it shows the weakening of the case. Previously, the prosecution had alleged that Durk paid the bounty for the death through one of his co-defendants, and they named the co-defendant. Now they've backed off that allegation. They're not actually saying that Durk paid the bounty through the co-defendant or anyone else. And the fact that they're not saying that suggests that previously they thought they were going to be update on.
You know, this was a, you know, we're looking for our day in court. You know, this was a bond hearing. You know, expectation of this bond hearing where it was at, but we looking to go to the district court before the real judge, and then, not saying she's not a real judge.
No, I know.
Right, just go before the real judge. And
the
then,
trial judge.
The trial judge, and then let him hear our case and see what he said about it.
How's your son holding up?
Oh, he's strong, focused. You see the smile that was on his face, both during the time and afterwards of her ruling. He's still smiling, he's still strong. He's standing on his faith, you know, and believing that God will make a way for us.
And before I even say what I'm about to say, allow me to say this right here. I'm not a Lil Durk hater. I'm not a Lil Durk basher or nothing like that. But, because I keep it 100% real, fair, and balanced. You emotional Durk fans, y'all just don't understand because y'all just want Durk free. Y'all are not looking at the whole y'all ain't looking at the whole thing. Y'all ain't looking at the big picture. All y'all feeling, Durk, let Durk free, let Durk free. But like I said in my last videos, if they turn Durk loose, I will be surprised out my mind. We gotta understand something, y'all. This is the federal government. And like I tell y'all all the time, when you get in that criminal judicial system, all that, the law this and equal protection up under the laws, and if you do that, that goes against it don't apply to criminals. It don't apply. You can fight, get the best lawyers. This man is a millionaire, got some of the best lawyers in the United States of America. And all they could come up with is, hey, you guys use those lyrics and those lyrics was wrong and all that. That does not negate all the other evidence that weighs heavily against convicting Lil Durk. They gotta bust that up. They gotta kill all that. Now y'all see, for everybody that was, man, no, hood educated, that's against the law, man. You know what I'm saying? They used them lyrics, man, to indict him by a grand jury. That denied him his right this. They denied this right there. And according to this and all that, what Durk at? What just happened today? That don't matter. And like I told y'all, little stuff like that, look, what the prosecution do? You know what? We're not even going to use that. We going to throw that out. Okay, yeah, y'all caught us in our lie, but we'll throw that out. We ain't even going to use that. However, we're going to use everything else, though. And it still make Durk look guilty, according to them. Now, here it is. This how cold-blooded the federal system is. You know what this woman had the nerve to bring up? Or the judge, I should say. The federal judge. You did a rule violation and you disrespecting the law, because you in there using three-way calls and you using other people's phone calls and stuff like that. So yeah, nah, you disrespecting the law. A phone call. A phone call. All because Durk is in the federal custody right now and saying, hey, man, can I use your PIN number, man? You know what I'm saying? To make a few calls, man. Hey, look out for me, dog. Ah, yeah, we got you, Durk. Ain't no problem, man. Here you go. You can call on my phone. The judge had the nerve to bring up something that small like this in helping her make her decision to keep this man locked up until October 8th, 2025, I believe it is. But I know it's October in 2025. Cold-blooded demonstration, but this is the federal government. They don't play by listen. The only rules that apply is the rules that they make up. The rules that they got already laid down. You can come with all that stuff and I understand, yeah, they was wrong for doing that. But now y'all can finally see, listen, I need all my youngsters. You can finally see how they will play you in the criminal judicial system. You go in there, hey, yeah, you know what, they did this, they wrong. My fingerprints wasn't even on the gun or none of that. Yeah, man, they trying to use these raps, man, to say that, that connects me to the crime, man. But that rap was done 8 months ago, way before the crime happened. It don't matter. They don't care about that. All they care about is locking people up. This man right here was willing to put up $3 million, 3 houses. Sony Records was willing to put up $1 million on top of all his money. They said, we don't care about that. We want you to be in jail. We don't care about that. And not only that, you're going to be in jail until your trial date. Come on. This how they play. So, what is the reasons why she really, or the judge really, denied Lil Durk his bond? The judge cited that his lawyers did not bring up any new information that will cause the judge to give him a bond. A bond. They did not come up with enough new information to say, hey, you know what? Let's let this guy go. I mean, because y'all ain't really got no case or nothing like that. Nah. The judge say, no, y'all ain't come up with nothing. Yeah, y'all gave an argument talking about the lyrics and all that, but y'all ain't come up with nothing that is tangible. Y'all ain't come up with nothing that I can really foresee that the federal government got it wrong, that this guy was not involved with the murder for hire, and that he's not the leader and he's not the one that's directing these other people. You gotta understand something, y'all. They already said Durk been intimidating the witnesses. Durk got power and influence. Durk directed these guys to go kill somebody. What part of that don't y'all understand? Like, this is the real world. This is not fantasy land. So for all you young brothers and all you classic brothers that thinking, I'm gonna put a bag on somebody's head, I'm clear. I ain't did nothing. I ain't touched no gun. I ain't shot nobody or nothing. I'm sending these youngsters to go do it. Yeah, Durk thought the same thing, according to the federal reports. He possibly thought the same thing. And now look. And see, the cold-blooded part about what's going on now is that it's too late now. It's too late to be saying, hey, it's too late for all that. We got you locked up and we believe you did it. That's all that matters. That's all that. Listen to me when I tell y'all this. When you get locked up in the criminal judicial system, if they believe that you committed the crime, that's all that matters. No matter what the crime is, if they got evidence that they believe connects you to the crime, that they can tell a jury and convict you, that's all that matters. Proof of that is look how many innocent people go to jail. Be locked up 20 years, 30 years, then all of a sudden, oh, you know what? We made a mistake. That wasn't him. That was this other dude. This man done spent 20, 30 years of his life in the penitentiary. Now y'all talking about, oh man, you know what? We made a mistake. And this man been telling y'all all the time, hey, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. It don't matter. You got to be able to prove that you didn't do it. And see, and that's the problem that Durk is having. Durk cannot prove that he didn't do it. That's why they in there arguing about lyrics and shit like that. Excuse my language. They in there talking about rap lyrics. Prove that Durk didn't do it. Prove that Durk did not hire someone to go kill people. Prove that. That's what the judge want to see. The judge want to see you come up with tangible evidence. Hey, look, check this out. The time that all this happened, Durk was not even using his phone. His phone was dead, and he wasn't nowhere around these guys. He didn't take no private jets or none of that to California. They did not use his credit cards, to fly out to all that type of stuff. I'm talking about something that can prove that you're innocent. For an example, you can't say that Lil Durk snatched a purse from the old lady on the street. Why? Because we got camera footage of Lil Durk at a concert performing. So that couldn't have been him snatching the purse from the old lady on the street. That's what they looking for. The judge looking for something like that. Something that's going to just, I'm talking about, separate him from the crime. If his lawyers cannot separate him from the crime, then he going to trial. He going to trial. No matter how much love y'all got for Lil Durk, no much how much I'm seeing people to myself, y'all today Lil Durk going to trial. Y'all pray to God that Lil Durk. I hope you do that for your family members that's locked up. While you talking about a man that don't even know you, you talking about pray to God. And you don't even understand what's going on. Pray to God that, Durk get out today. I hope, if your family members or anybody that you know, I hope you be praying to God that they, get out and all that old type of stuff, because we get lost up here. We get so attached to these superstars, these idols, and we lose our mind. We start really thinking that these people really care about what we thinking about. And people don't care about what we thinking about. That man looking at life in a penitentiary. That man trying his hardest to get up out of that jam. Whether he's guilty or not, look, he gonna have his day in court. But the way that they plan it and the way that the federal government is coming at him, they feel that they got a real case against him. And the fact that they will not give him a bond speaks loudly to those who can hear and for those who can see that they feel like they got a real case against Lil Durk. If they didn't, why everybody running around to the case weak, man. Lil Durk, man, they can't prove this, they can't prove that. Why he still locked up? When cases is weak, they get dismissed. When cases is weak and missing, I'm talking about very important parts, then people get bonds and stuff like that. Listen, you got people, everybody, and all y'all say, I'm talking all the hood educated residents and the guests who are watching me right now. Go look at your county jail rosters. You're going to see people in there with murder with bonds. $1 million bond, $500,000 bond, with murders, with bonds. Why Lil Durk ain't got one? This is a multi-millionaire, a superstar. Why he ain't got one? The more you look at that roster and you see them people with bonds, then when you look at that roster and you see the people with no bonds, if you can, go look at how serious the case is and look at all the evidence and all that type of stuff that they got against the person with no bond. That's why they ain't got no bond. The judge can clearly see, no, you a threat. You a clear and present danger to the community. I can't let you go. No, I'm looking at what they saying and the evidence that they got against you. Nah, you ain't going nowhere. Because you're not finna get up out of here and go do the same thing that you've been doing. Why? Because the judge feels like that would be on me and my career. I'm not finna let you go for you to go out there and you go kill somebody. And then my career is at stake. People gonna be looking at me like, you let him go? You let him go and he killed my family member? He killed somebody else? There's a lot in play here. A lot. And for those of us that can look at the big picture and not narrow-minded and just thinking that free him, free Durk, free it, we can see. We understand what's going on. We realize what's going on. So while y'all keep being narrow-minded and not looking at the big picture, y'all gonna continue to get y'all feelings hurt. Because we dealing with reality. This is not fantasy. Somebody lost their life. Understand that. Somebody died violently. That's what you gotta understand. But for the criminals and people that are so, I'm talking about enamored by, this Lil Durk and this idol and all this old type of stuff, I don't expect y'all to see. I don't expect y'all to understand because y'all blinded because y'all really believe in this idol. Y'all really believe, and y'all not looking at this man like he's a regular man. His friend got killed. And according to the culture, the gang culture, when your homeboy, I'm talking about somebody you like this with, when he get killed, you gotta get your get back. That's the culture. You gotta strike back. And if you don't, it's a kink in your armor. You not who you say you is. You rapping all this old type of stuff, man. Your main homeboy got gunned down in Georgia and you ain't did nothing. Nah. Not the guys in Chicago, the get back city. Come on. Come on now. And it's sad. Because if Lil Durk really demonstrated that measure, man, bro, you tricked off your whole life to kill somebody, man. You tricked off your whole life trying to get back for your homeboy. I understand the culture, but I don't agree with the culture. And the reason why I don't agree with the culture is because of what we are seeing right now. We got a multi-millionaire that could have set his family up, set his kids up, set his wife up. I'm talking about leaving money for them when he gone, being destroyed. Not only that though, the guys that's with him, their lives are being destroyed. Family, kids, all that are being destroyed. Lil Pop, gone. His family destroyed. Do y'all see all the destruction, murder, pain, and misery that this so-called gang culture rewards you for being a gangster? If you can't see that, you a damn fool. And you deserve everything that's coming to you. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love, and y'all take care of yourself out there. If I said anything that caused you to think, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you're feeling generous, please make a small donation to the channel. Peace and love.